shut that fan off of there. Forgot the fan was on, so anyway. Little noise there out of the way. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. Shalom on this Saturday night, July 15th. Look at that, we're in the middle of July. Oh, I hate when the summer starts going fast. And it is, it's the middle of July, so moving right along. Got 2 batches of raspberry jam done, so I'm super happy about that. Oh, it is so good. Hopefully I'll get a couple more batches done. Excuse me. Anyway, welcome. As the title says, it says I think it says open chat panel guest welcome or something like that. So anybody's welcome to come up. If you have something to say you want to talk about, come on up. And I will give you a link. I'm just kind of getting organized here because I am anyway just kind of settling in. So I got a lot going on right now. So it's not going to be a big study or anything tonight. Tomorrow night might be a short study. I have a lot of stuff going on this week, and anyway, and we're not even sure where we're going to go next. I do have a couple more things to go over. Let's see. We'll be doing that next week. Anyway, what a beautiful day here in Minnesota. Hope everybody had a great day, a wonderful weekend. It is vacation land up here right now. We got a lot of people having fun. So on like that. Anyway, it was kind of funny. I was looking at I was looking for somebody's obituary, and it came up Pine City Area History Association, and it has people's cause of death from the 1800s in this area. And it's the strangest things that people died from back then, and people died from fevers even. So 100 years ago, yeah, it wasn't the best medicine. Not that it's perfect now, but as far as emergency care, most of these people would probably still be alive had they been alive today. Oh, there's a train accident in that one. Interesting. Anyway, people died from very simple things back then. Anyway, double-edged sword. Something emergency care has gotten better, but as for the rest of it, I don't know. And it's kind of funny because they'll just put on the autopsy or on the but 100 years ago they would just put death from a long illness. And they call diseases different things back then. It's kind of funny. I was in the medical field for 20 years. I had to go to school and everything. And so I know medical terminology very well. And some of these things were new to me, and it's been renamed actually. Wow, this is interesting. Somebody in 1955, born in 1919, died he died of polio, and he worked at Johnson and Johnson. I wonder if that, huh, interesting. Anyway, anyway, so yeah, modern medicine has come a long way. A lot of these people would still be alive. Died of a fever. Interesting. One guy died of an amputated leg. Back then, you know. Anyway, I didn't do a whole lot today. Chilled out. What did I do? Oh, I'm getting my stuff ready for next week. I'm doing my protest next week. My first day at my protest, and so I was just making sure that everything was taken care of. Anyway, let me see here. Yeah, so if anybody wanted to come up, you can come up. Otherwise, I probably won't be on here real long. Actually, last night, I think I was on like for 20 something minutes, 22 minutes. I can't remember. And just as I got off, just as I clicked off, Grace came on just seconds later. But anyway, but it's really no big deal. I do have other things I can be doing too. So if nobody wants to come in and chat, that would be fine. And I would uh, I'm just pulling up something real quick. Oh, you know what I wouldn't even mind doing? Doing some Bible Jeopardy. Because I could even play that. I could definitely play it by myself. And I'm just reacted because there's a cat outside. I moved the wild cats. I feed the wild cats out here. And I moved their dish to a different area because we're trying to get it away from the house because they got fleas really bad. Those wild cats. And I'm just trying to get them away from the house a little bit. And so I moved it to a different part of the yard, which is and I put the pan kind of real close to a camera so I could watch them still. Anyway, you know, here's something interesting. In 1906, August 3rd, 1906, on a hot day, a 24-year-old drank ice water while in an overheated condition. This is a woman, Mrs. Blazek, drank 24 years old, drank ice water while in an overheated condition. That's weird. Never heard of that. Um, I saw somebody else. It was a 14-year-old boy died from drinking too much alcohol too fast. Rapid intoxication with alcohol. Um, oh goodness, here's somebody, William Booker or Brooker, in June 27th, 1890, he was hanged for murder. So they were still hanging people in 1890. I'll show you real quick what I'm looking at. You probably won't be able to see it. This is in my area here. I was just looking at this earlier. That's interesting here. Northwestern Bell. That's where my dad worked. Northwestern Bell. Yeah, here's a guy. William Brooker was hanged for murder on June 27th, 1890. That's interesting. William, and then H. Brooker, just a couple years earlier, 1881. Anyway, soldier, 3-month-old, died from pneumonia. There's a Navy nurse that died. Pharmacist had a heart attack at a young age, 60 years old. Anyway, there's somebody that was hit by a train. There's a lumber mill accident. Man, it's so strange. Anyway, I was looking for something else and this came up. I was looking for somebody's obituary, and this page came up from the 1800s to mid 1900s. Huh. Anyway, here's some people killed in a tornado in 1911. Anyway, oh, look at this. Archie Coutier, son of Lee, died love affair suicide. Look at that. A love affair suicide. How old was he? He was 20 years old. Born in 1912, died in 19... So at 20 years old, he died in a love affair suicide. Isn't that weird that would put out on his death certificate? Hmm. Huh. Wow. Here's somebody in 1891 died of neglect. William's sister. So strange. Hmm. Here's an operator at Northwestern Bell. Bell operator. Remember they used to sit at the from 1914. Died in 1994. They lived a long life. Died on New Year's Eve or something like that. Anyway, I just thought, well, here's an age 9-year-old, Harvey Dooley, 1918. Look at that. That's interesting. On January, February, March, April 4th, 4/4, and 1918. Age 9 years old, died of a brain tumor from a sliding accident. And it's funny because the snow is just about melted in April, so it's too bad. So at the end of the winter. Anyway, here's somebody found dead. 1892, found dead. J.H. Dobell. It's like, wow, who knows how many people got with murder back then. Here's a hay wagon accident. Oh, look at this one. Too much moonshine. December 3rd, 1925, Charles Douglas died from too much moonshine. Floyd, the power company, was hit by a car and killed on Halloween 1924, Fred. Rock Garden Lodge. Snowmobile accident. I was going to say that must have been, that was 73. That's about the earliest one on here. Nobody. He wants to go out. Oops. Okay, I think I'm back. All right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I touched a button and I couldn't get back. Oh, look at that. Now that thing's on there. This thing is so screwed up tonight. I can't even control it anymore. Is that going to come off or no? Yay, nay, no, nay, yay. All right. Anyway, I was looking at these lists of I was looking for somebody's obituary in case somebody just coming in. I was looking for somebody's obituary in my area in Pine County. Hey! Oh my goodness. The cat is driving me nuts. I moved his box up here and he just goes crazy. Anyway, I was just looking at, I was looking for a particular obituary in this area. And this page came up with deaths and a recording of deaths. Get out of there. Deaths in Pine County, but this is like from the 1800s and early 1900s. A couple newer ones, but mostly from the 1800s and 1900s, which is kind of weird. I was just seeing, I thought it was kind of interesting how people died back then, 100 years ago, and how many of these would still be alive if they had modern medicine. Of course, many people are dying from modern medicine, but some could be saved. All these accidents here. Age 6 years old, Mary Duval, son of John Duval, age 6 years old. She died of a runaway wagon April 5th, 1923. This one died. Oh, the dad died of periodontitis. I don't know, 12 years later. I think that's a gum disease or something. This is interesting. This is about the earliest death from cancer I've seen is 1951. There really wasn't cancer really before that. You know what I'm saying? Coincidentally, anyway, I won't get into that. 19 years old, died from the flu. Sadie Courier. Right after high school. Age 2, cholera infantum. That means they were crying with the stomach ache. Here's one, blood poisoning. Mrs. Gertrude Cutler at 29 years old. What weird ways of death. Presumed dead from World War II. Wallace never came back. 22, 32 foot. Wow, only 20 years old and he's already presumed dead. Now, this is really interesting. 1919 says that age 61 they died of cancer. Now, that is really interesting. Here's somebody who died from burns, Eleanor. Yeah, just the weirdest ways to die. Snowmobile accident in the 70s. That's about where I left off. Drowned in the pond, a 9-year-old. A fire in a Hinkley horse barn in 1904. Here's somebody who's found dead. There's somebody died of dropsy. Here's somebody died from the flu and pneumonia. 2-month-old. It's so weird. They didn't really even look into the deaths too much. They just looked at the people and said, yep. Wow. Here is somebody that died in 1890 on January 10th. Georgie Dose died because he was bitten by Brackett's dog. Who is Brackett? Anyway, a little child was bitten by somebody's dog. And the death certificate said bitten by Brackett's dog. Here's somebody with heart failure after operation in 1907. Born in 1855. Stroke. Kidney trouble. Oh, check this out. Oops. I think I just screwed up. This thing is touchy. Because my good mouse is out in my garage with my other computer. I just saw one where somebody died of too much moonshine. Yep, drowned in a pond, age 9 years old. Acute appendicitis, somebody dying at 73 years old from appendicitis. That is weird. Usually, always your appendicitis is when you're little. Okay, bitten by Brackett's dog. Here's somebody died. Charles Douglas died from too much moonshine on December 3rd, 1925. Too much moonshine. Age 50. Age 66, a Methodist pastor. Wife of a Methodist pastor. Lumber cruiser. Buzzard's greenhouse. Died in Buzzard's greenhouse. Oh, here's somebody. So here's somebody. Joseph Drabeck died age 55 in Mission Creek from consumption. Drank too much. 1901. Look at that. December 6th, 1901. died of consumption. Then that 55 years old, drank too much. Wonder what the occasion was. And then Anna Drabek, the daughter of the one. Wow, look at that. Just 2.5, I'm sorry, 3.5 years later. Anna drowned in Mission Creek after epileptic fit. Weird. You gotta notice that a lot of these husband and wives die kind of close to each other, even when it's a freak accident. One will die in a freak accident, and then the other will die in a freak accident. Huh. A 2-day illness. Mrs. Harold Cecil Drake died of a 2-day illness on 3366, born in 1891. Ooh, Mrs. Hans Draves died in 1884 from a fall from a wagon. She fell off a wagon. Oh, here's another one. Ooh, the same family. This is weird. 1884, 94, 14, 24. So you're talking 45 years later, a baby girl in the same family. Oh, no, it's not. No, this is daughter of William. Okay, no, it's not. But anyway, a 3-week-old died from a pneumonia. And here's another one that fell off a wagon, though. Donna May, age 5 years, also fell off a wagon, a hay wagon accident. 1941, April 24th. Here's somebody that was a fry cook in St. Paul. Bald knob truck driver. So it says. Stroke. Oh, Arnold Driver hung himself in the grocery store on Christmas Eve, December 23rd, 1948. Born in 1904, so he was 44 years old. Hung himself in a grocery store on Christmas Eve. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, here's another one, died of consumption. That was William Dunn in 1901. 22-month-old drowned, 1928. Isn't this strange? Ella Piper Dunning died in 1921, born in 1855, but died in 1921 of a sort of a sleeping sickness. What kind of a diagnosis is that? She died of sort of a sleeping sickness. California odd accident. There's another one. Look at that. Mary Duval, age 6, a runaway wagon. April 5th, 1923. Another one with a lot of people got killed with runaway wagons, especially the children. There's a lot of kids. There's 3 kids in a row that got killed with a runaway wagon. 1951, another cancer, 1950s. Here's somebody that was electrocuted. Ronald Eastman was electrocuted on June 5th, 1969. That is weird. They're born in 1966, so they were only 3 years old and they were electrocuted. 3 years old. Wow. Here's one in 1981. That's the year my daughter was born. David Eberhardt sank in Lake Minnetonka with his truck. Truck driver sank in Lake Minnetonka. That's down in St. Paul. It's Minneapolis. I've done jobs on homes there. Here's a train accident. Frank X, a train accident in 1915. I noticed there's a few train accidents. Here's another one. A 3.5-year-old in Brook Park hit by a train. That's right up the road from me. Here's a 30-year-old with a bad heart. Ooh, here's a 29-year-old Albert Egerton decapitated by a train. 1977. Here's a 7-month-old with pneumonia, pleural pneumonia. 1901. I noticed in the early 1900s, a lot of people died from pneumonia and just the common cold, flu. Just, Actually, check this out. 1944. She was born in 1873. Mrs. Andrew, Emma Lund, Emma Eden. She was a Hinckley fire survivor. This whole town was wiped out. The city I live outside of was wiped out in a fire back in the 1800s, I think. Can't remember. But anyway, she was a fire survivor. That's interesting. We got a fire museum here. You know what the weird thing is? There's actually an obelisk at the graves. An obelisk, you guys. Anyway, that's not good. Here's a cerebral hemorrhage at 47-year-old. And here's another one in Hinckley, right up the road here from me. Age 17 years old, hit by train during cross-country race in 1990. Andrew Eden. A lot of gun suicides, different suicides. Heart failure at 35. That's really young. But in 1901, who knows what it was? I mean, they could say heart failure because his heart's not beating anymore, but who knows what it was. People died from infections, all kinds of stuff. Here's one, intestinal inflammation. That must have been painful. Here's another one, died from the flu. Simple thing. 1897, people died from the flu. I mean, radio announcer. Here's another one, cerebral hemorrhage. A lot of these are probably just guessing too, but that one would have been obvious. Blood vessel in your head break, bust. I worked for a doctor one time. He sat down at his desk and that happened. And blood came out of his nose and ears. It's terrible. You know when it's a cerebral hemorrhage, I mean, when it's really bad and when you die from it. Here's another one. Trucker in Wyoming died of electrocution. 69, only 22 years old. Another one, car accident. You didn't really get into the car accidents until like the 60s, 1960s, you know what I mean? Cars just didn't go fast enough in the 50s. I mean, not usually, unless a lot of them got hit by trains, though. I noticed that. If they did, it was hit by a train. Now, I don't know how you get hit by a train in a cross-country skiing thing. That would be interesting. Yeah, runaway wagon. After a long illness. Here's a 16-year-old, 1928, August 9th, drowned when riding a horse in Cross Lake and 7th Avenue during Marjorie State's birthday party. You know what else is where I saw another one where a girl got killed on a school picnic, or she drowned at the school picnic. Yeah, age 16, drowned when riding a horse in Cross Lake and 7th Avenue during Marjorie Strat's birthday party. 16-year-old, oh, it's a sweet 16 birthday party. Dang. Yeah, somebody supposedly died of diphtheria. In 1855, that's a DPT, the shot that the kids get in school to go to school. Called the DPT. It's diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. It's a DPT. So this is the third of that shot they're getting still today. Died January 3rd in the middle. That was in the cold winter. Yeah, I can see that. There's a head-on car crash, 1970. See, the people didn't die in car crashes until the 60s and 70s. Anyway, Bright's disease. I had to look that up. There's they call it something else now. Here's somebody that had stomach trouble. Oh, here's somebody aged 2 years old who drank strychnine. Strychnine is probably the most painful death you can ever imagine. And once somebody drinks it, there's no way to save them. Anyway, 2-year-old drank strychnine in 1926. It's terrible. Yeah, it's probably one of the worst poisons to die by. There's a rupture from an operation. Leukemia. Cancer. Started in 1998. Anyway, car accident, stomach cancer. Anyway, I just thought, wow, it's so different now. If you went through do you know what? Now, if you went through the statistics, if you went through a list like this from 2023, say this year, or the last 10 years, it would be heart disease, disease, diabetes, heart attack, obesity, lung cancer from smoking or whatever. And here's another one, hit by a train on the railroad bridge in 1947. Waldy Gullickson got hit by a train, born in 1899. 40 years old. He's a cigar maker. Oh, this one died from a goiter operation. Wow, Gilbert Hagelin died of a nervous breakdown. I didn't even know that was possible. Die of a nervous breakdown. Huh. I don't even know what that even would be. And I know medical stuff, and it doesn't sound right. Director of the Pines, 26 years in the band director for 26 years, died of a broken hip in California. Goes to California and doesn't come back. Here's another one, Malaise syndrome, 1916. I think they renamed that. I forgot what it is now. Here's another one. Oh, Air Force nurse was killed in a car accident in Spain. Anyway, this is interesting. The owner of the Mercantile died of cancer in 1931. That's one of the earlier ones. That's in the 90s. Their 6-year-old hit by a car in 1920. What? Oh, hey, Grace. How you doing? Well, I was trying to find somebody's obituary in Pine County, and this site came up. It's Pine City Area History Association obituary file from like the 1800s and 1900s. For this area that I live in. Wow, this one's really weird. Here's one 20-year-old that drowned. Look at this one. Mysterious death, age 35. That's it. And look at this one. Emil Anderson died at age 25 because Derek fell on him. Derek fell on him in 1887. What the heck? Oh, here's somebody that died when they were hit by a log on 8/3/1888. Another one drowned, a 17-year-old. Here's somebody who died of consumption. Lots of people died from influenza. I was just showing that like 100 years ago, a lot of these could have been prevented. I mean, they're mostly accidents or fever or things that are curable today. But now you would look at this list today and it would be heart disease, cancer, heart disease, obesity, diabetes. You know what I mean? It's so different in 100 years. Huh. There's a 2-month-old died of convulsions in 1900. And back then, they just back then, they didn't they would just say that the baby had a fever 2 days, or they'd say a colicky baby, or not colicky, but there's another one struck by a car in 1933. That's just so in the 30s and 40s and 50s, even most people, if you got killed by a car, it was because you stepped in front of one. It wasn't until the 60s when people started getting killed by inside the car. You know what I mean? Because they didn't go fast enough till in the 60s. Then you'll see people start. If you see a car accident on here, auto accident, yeah, it's about the 60s. Because they didn't anything in the 50s and stuff. It's people on foot. Here's another one, 16 months old, hit by a train in 1968. Look at this. Whoa. No way. Look at this. William Haywood, age 22, died of consumption in 1899. Nellie, the sister, died at the same age 2 years later, a year and a half later, in 1901, also of consumption. Then Charles died at 17 years old of consumption. Look at that, another year and a half later. Look at that, you guys. And then the mom died. And it doesn't say why. Well, you look at you. Why do you think? Look at, they had William died at 22 in 1899, December. The next kid, the daughter, died of consumption, drank herself to death a year and a half later, 1901. And then another year and a half later, their 17-year-old died of consumption. That's almost suspicious in 1903. A year and a half, and a year and a half. Imagine if cell phones and YouTube prophets were doing live streams back. Yeah. How many diseases? Yeah. I don't know. What in the heck is going on in that family? I'll tell you that. As a matter of fact, one of these I was looking at, that the parents had one kid after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. Every kid was dying from a different thing. What the heck? Each one 2 years old. Huh? Really? Anyway, how weird. Carbon monoxide from a blowtorch back in 1939. Strange way to die. Here's one that had an abscess lung. Wow. Here's somebody got crushed by a horse and their lung was punctured on January 10, 1908. Wow, they're 39 years old, 29 or 39. Crushed by a horse. Lots of horse accidents back then. Here's somebody who fell down the steps at the hotel. That is weird. Here's someone, then the next person had a stroke. Wow. A year later. So Caroline falls on the steps at the hotel and dies from pneumonia. Orrin, the husband, who also operated the hotel, dies the next year of a stroke. Ooh, Eldon, who worked at the Coca-Cola plant, became overcome by the CO2 carbon. Wow. So this dude here, Eldon Highland, in the Coca-Cola plants, it's right on the freeway, as probably half hour before my exit, before I get up here. On the right-hand side, I'm sure, Grace, you've seen it, that Coca-Cola plant. Well, somebody in 1972 died when he was overcome by CO2 out of there. Anyway, Hustletown. Here's somebody fell. Oh yeah. Anyway, she fell down the steps and he had a stroke. I don't know. Arsenic poisoning. Somebody died at 73 years old because L.R. Inman was poisoned by arsenic in 1912, August 9th. Ooh, that's coming up. Yep. Bert, son of Lorraine. Dropsy. People, I said dropsy too. Here's another ulcerative colitis. Heart attack, cerebral atrophy. There's a here's a 15-year-old died in 1925 on June 25th from a gas explosion. Bowel trouble. Now here's your typical 1917 death certificate. Bowel trouble. How did Jacob die? He was 42, 56. Wait a minute. He's in the 60s. Bowel trouble. Bowel trouble. Well, he seemed to have some stomach aches. All right, there he is. Bowel trouble. See, 33-year-old dying of pneumonia. Here's another one dying of pneumonia. Prolonged illness. What kind? I don't know. Oh, here's poor George E. Johnson. George Johnson, age 39, died of suicide when he drank nitric acid. Wow. Here's hardening the arteries. They found that at the autopsy, probably, but I don't know. Anyway. Imagine if cell phones. Thought you just wrote that. There was somebody that froze to death in 1888 on January 13th. And their name was August. Heart attack. Oh, look at this. Tuberculosis in 1930. Interesting. 7-month-old died in an auto accident in 1927. Which probably got run over or something. You know what I mean? Here's Albert Cleekey, unmarried and unknown cause of death. Case closed. Wow, Edgar Kilgore, age 14, was struck in the abdomen by a knee while he was playing baseball, and he died July 25th, 1901. So he got kneed in the stomach. See, now he would have went to the hospital, and they would have found something was ruptured, and he would have had surgery. Another one froze to death. Yep, 1888. Yeah, got struck in the abdomen. 1901. They don't know. The kid's moaning and groaning, and they think he's going to be better tomorrow. And you know, they don't know. They don't have X-rays and have none of that stuff back then. Huh. Gerald Coffer, son of Christ. Donald Coffer, son of Christ. I'm not kidding. Look at that. Coffer, Gerald, son of Christ, son of Christ. How'd they die? Carbon monoxide in a car? And I don't know, something else. Anyway. So he died at 3 weeks old at prenatal birth. Huh. Anyway. Here's so here's another typical 1880s, early 1900s death certificate cause of death. Old age. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Hit by a car. Here, old age. Here, this one, a 2-year illness. So she's in her 40s. Here's this one died of an 18-day illness. Would your wife die of an 18-day illness? I'm so sorry. Would your wife die of? Well, my wife died of a 2-year illness. Oh, I'm so sorry. What was it? We don't know. And people die, and here's somebody died at birth. But you know what? By this time, it's not really that common. Influenza. Anyway, somebody died in 1940s of a broken hip. See, that's kind of stuff that could be done. Could have been. Here's a fell while trimming trees. 2-year-old died of the flu in 1919. Nah, that happened. A lot of people died of the flu back then. Brain paralysis. What does that even mean? That's not even a diagnosis. How the heck is your brain paralyzed? Gracie, can you answer that? 1864. Okay, well, they're older anyway. Somebody died of Ogilvy syndrome in Froggy's Bar. It's age 53. What is Froggy's? I mean, what is anyway? Interesting. Yeah. Drowned, 5 years old, drowned under the railroad bridge. 1800s. Oh, here's another one. James Lynch died at age 14 years old in Hinckley from quick consumption in 1892. February 5th, must have been born in the middle of winter. February 5th, 1892, died of quick consumption, just drank. You know how people drink a bunch of alcohol? Somebody dares them or whatever when you're 14. There's another one hit by a train on a railroad bridge in 1916. They must not have had like a place to step off to the side. I might have wanted to jump, but those are pretty high bridges. Hunting, heart attack while hunting. I saw another one that had a brain aneurysm while they were fishing. Stroke, brain aneurysm. Antique dealers suddenly died. Oh, Cheryl Nelson died in 1956 from the anesthetic from trying to set her broken arm. There's another one, 1953. Who was a doctor during that time? There's another one with a broken hip, died in the 50s. And a lot of them, they'll put cerebral hemorrhage if they just don't know. If something happened in their head, they see blood coming out. Just think of how many people probably got away with murder back then, because, I don't know. They had no forensic, none of that stuff, you know what I mean? Anyway. Tractor accident. So on and so forth. Well, how was your day today? Consumption was TB? Tuberculosis? Another one that was neat. Really? Consumption was tuberculosis? Really? I didn't know that. A lot of these were renamed. Like dropsy is something else now, and that other diseases they named. There's somebody accidentally shot while hunting. Huh. Here's somebody, a 17-month-old that died from streptococcal peritonitis. Hi, Omar. How you doing tonight? Good to see ya. Hope all is well. I'm just gonna be on here for a little bit, and then here's somebody died from leakage of a heart leakage. Ah, sounds like it was broken. How was your day, Omar? Hope all is well. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot today. I got my just getting my last stuff ready for my protests next week. I'm going to start my first day of protesting. I will be protesting as many times as I need to. I'm protesting against my um, bartender at Island Hotel fell from his buggy at age 24 and died in 1909. Um, yeah, so I'm protesting against my um, insurance company. And I'm going to be outside their office with a bullhorn, which is a megaphone, loudspeaker, and big giant signs. And I will be doing that for however long I feel like it. Here's another one, died in 1903, an accident while hauling wood with horses. There's another 35 years old, drank carbolic acid. What is it with these people? So that's what I'm doing for next week. So I just kind of put in my last finishing touches. I had to make sure my sign fit in the back of my truck. Great Kathy, I got sick a couple of days, had to miss work, but feeling better. Oh, are you? Well, I'm glad you feel better now. Well, that sucks, huh? Man, it sucks being sick. It's very rare I got sick, but I did get sick like, I don't know, it was in January a couple years ago, year ago or something. And oh, horrible. But anyway, I'm glad you're feeling better. Glad you recuperated. I'm ready for my 36th birthday. Yes, your birthday is 7/17. It's so weird that this thing's doing this by itself. Anyway, so happy early birthday, Omar. So Monday is 7/17, huh? Were you born in 77? I remember you a long time ago saying that your birthday was on 7/17. And so happy early birthday. You've got only 2 days left before, yep, 7/77, guys. Yeah, 7/77. Yep, I remember that. I remember a couple years ago, you said it on Mark's channel. I remember that. I always had hope for you, Omar. I knew you're gonna see through him. Okay, 7/17/87. There you go. 87, not 77, 87. So 7/17/87. Well, happy birthday, birthday boy. I hope you do something fun. When I lived in the cities, I used to go to Denny's and get my free meal because you get free meal on your birthday. And now I just go up to A&W on my birthday. I have my routine up here. Um, I'm trying to scroll, but my thing's not scrolling. Hold on a second. I think I gotta pull up my other chat. Comments won't scroll, but it might be because I'm in this holder on there. Sometimes when it squeezes too tight, it won't. There it goes. Sometimes when it squeezes too tight, it won't let me push the buttons. Weird. Oh, really, Kathy didn't know that I need to go for breakfast. I love. Yeah. Yep. You get a free Grand Slam breakfast. So you can get anything, and they'll take like $10 off whatever a Grand Slam breakfast. You get the value of a Grand Slam breakfast. So you can go in. You can just pay for your. I would pay for my drink and give the people a tip. You know what I mean? But I did that for years. I went after my Dave died. I was on my own with my birthday, and so I started going. My routine was I'd go to Denny's because I used to go there anyway. And so yeah, go to Denny's. You'll get a free Grand Slam breakfast, and you don't even have to say anything really if you want. But when you go to pay your check, when you go to leave, and you go up to the counter to pay your check, you just say today's my birthday and show them your ID or your driver's license or whatever, and show them it's your birthday, and they will take off $10 or whatever. They'll take off your meal. They'll take off the value of whatever. Last time I went, it was probably 5-6 years ago, before I moved up here. But they will take off the value of a. So you don't really have to have a Grand Slam breakfast, but they'll take that cost off. Grace's birthday should be celebrated. It's your day, the day God created you. In creating you, God said you matter to Him. That's right. Yep, and you know, obviously, people in the Bible all counted their birthdays. They didn't like ignore them. But yes, I do think that people should have fun on your birthday. That's your day. Celebrate it. God gave you life, and they breathed breath in your lungs. Celebrate it. He just gave you another year. That's what I celebrate. Thank you, God, for giving me another year. Another year. So, anyway, yeah, do something fun on your birthday. I always took my birthday off work. And then once I built up a lot of vacation at my job, I was there for like my last job, I was there like 14 years or something. 13, 14 years or something. But I had a lot of PTO built up, so I would take the whole first week of June off. And that's my kids got out of school. We would usually go camping. Anyway. So I still don't have my thing up here where I can see that. Let me just see real quick. I can't scroll the comments, but yeah, have a good time on your birthday. But yeah, for a while I was stretching my vacation off for the whole week. That's when I turned into my birthday week. Not just one day, I celebrated the whole week. It was always fun because that's when I got out of school when I was growing up. It's when the kids got out of school, when I was raising kids. And so yeah, have a great time. I'm trying to pull my chat up so I can see the comments. My thing's not scrolling, so I can't see anything. Anyway, well, I'll wrap it up and get off here, guys. So happy birthday to Omar. So you're going to be 26? Am I doing the math right? No, 87. 97, 2007, 2017. You're going to be 36. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You're going to be 36. Yes, I love Denny's too. And I love a Grand Slam breakfast. I love, I don't really eat pork, so I would get, I replace the meat with like extra hash browns or whatever. But yeah, you can figure it out. I'm pretty sure they still do that. I haven't been there for a little bit, but thank you. Really appreciate your. Well, I appreciate you being here, Omar. We love you, and we're glad that you gonna have a good birthday. Remember, Denny's does breakfast all day long too. Enjoy your birthday, Omar. Celebrate the life God gives. Yes, have a great time. And yes, Denny's does do breakfast all day long. So I mean, if you don't want breakfast, you can get something else. They'll just take the price of the Grand Slam breakfast off. But anyway, you can talk to them before you order, whatever. You really don't have to. I've done it lots of times, but you can, just to make double sure they're going to get a free meal, because I don't know. I live in Minnesota. They've always done it here, so just maybe call and make sure they do it before you go, and it'll be cool. You get a free birthday. It's a gift from Denny's to you. Anyway, all right, cool. And yeah, you get the pancakes. Me too. I love pancakes. I love hash brown. I love the eggs and toast. Love it all. I just found a way to cook turkey bacon where it's crispy and stuff, and I broil it. Anyway, I'm loving the BLTs for the summer. Got lots of tomatoes coming in. I got lettuce coming in, or I have had lettuce. Anyway, but enjoy. I did try turkey bacon at the restaurants, but it's like shoe leather. I believe their free birthday meal is nationwide. Yeah, Denny's is nationwide. They wouldn't do it at one state, not the other. You're right, Grace. I'm pretty sure it is too. But heck yeah, go cash and go get that free meal, Omar. They're happy to give it to you. And you can buy the drink and give the waiter or waitress a tip. It really won't cost you much for a nice big meal. Anyway, so I'll get off of here and say good night. So yep, tomorrow's Sunday. Anyway, well, thank you, Father, for gathering us and all of our blessings today. All right, and thank you guys for coming in, Grace and Omar. It was good to see you guys tonight. Have a great rest of the evening. Sleep well. Hope the Lord blesses everybody abundantly, and also with a good night's sleep, because good night's sleep is quite a blessing. So have a blessed day tomorrow and a blessed evening. And anyway, maybe see you tomorrow night. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Love, prayers, blessings to all. All right, well, thank you. Good night, everybody. Shalom. Peace. Rock out. There you go. I'm trying to turn this thing off. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming in.